Yes, good evening, everyone. So, welcome to the third session now of HRM. We'll start the session at 6:10 sharp. Okay, let's everyone join in first. Meanwhile, if you have any query, you may ask. Okay. So let me share my screen and we'll start the session at 6:10 sharp. I think if you have any query from the last session, please do let me know, students. We can discuss those. Okay, I think let's wait for a few minutes first. 6:10 sharp, we'll start. If you have any doubt, please let me know from the previous session.
Sir, can you please?
Yes, Ayushi, you are saying something? The role play which I have given in the last session to you, we'll discuss after the break. Okay, we'll complete the half with the challenges first and evolution of HRM, and then we'll discuss the role play part. Okay.
Hello, sir.
Yes, Ayushi.
Sir, can you please see once again the 11th number of slide?
11th number slide.
Yes.
This one.
1 minute, sir.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, sir. Got it.
Okay. Yes, and waiting till 6:10. Okay. If you have any query from the previous session, I think we have covered up all these important points: the functions, role of HR manager, future of role of HR manager, the comparison between the objectives, the manager functionalities. Okay. Then we talk about operation functions of HRM. Okay. And this exercise we have completed. True, false, MCQs, and fill in the blanks. That we have done. Okay. Today we will start the challenges of HRM in Indian economy. Fine. So let's wait, I think, first of all, for a few minutes. So challenges and evolution. We'll try to cover up evolution because evolution is a lengthy topic today. And after that, we'll start discussing on that role play. Okay. I hope so. Everyone has gone through with that role play, please, which I've shared yesterday in the class. Because you have to give your own opinion regarding that case. Okay, in the second half of today's session. Yes, waiting for a few more minutes. How many have joined? 16 have joined. Okay, we have 30 plus in the class. Fine. Yes, student, shall we start? I think now it's 6:05. We should start the class.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Good evening, Mr. Anuj. How are you?
Fine, sir. Fine.
Good, good. So I think we should start the class now. It's 6:05. So I think as we have discussed in the last session regarding this exercise and we have completed that, along with that, we have discussed the basic functionality of HR manager functionality in the last session. Okay. Now today we'll start with the next part that is about the challenges of HRM in Indian economy. Okay. Now, when we discuss about the challenges, definitely there are certain, you could say, grounds where the Indian human resource managers or the Indian human resource department, or you could say the human resource ministry, if we talk about as well. Okay, definitely they need to actually cope up with all the major changes in the market, and according to that, they always need to upgrade their level, upgrade the skills of the human resource available in the Indian market or Indian territory. Okay, the first and the very important, you could say, challenge we can say, and as you know that challenges are basically nothing but an opportunity for a country, or we can say challenges are nothing but opportunity for a particular company as well in order to improve their level of activity, in order to improve, in order to enhance the you could say uh, the level, or you could say skill level of their employees in the organization. Okay, the first part is called your globalization. As we know that the globalization is nothing but basically how the companies are basically uh, actually upgrading themselves, escalating themselves in different part of the world. And as we know that because of the globalization, we can see that the customer having, you could say, multiple choices to go for. Now, from the perspective of, you could say, HR manager, when we come to globalization, okay, there are, you could say, when a particular Indian company, if we talk about, if they are expanding their operation in different part of the world, definitely they have to deal with international HRM. Okay, they need to deal with international law, they need to deal with languages barrier, they need to deal with practices, the proposition, the competition, the style, the ethical values, and there are a lot of, you could say, other functionality which comes under globalization. So the major challenge in front of the HR manager in any organization is all about basically the heterogeneous functionality they need to face from each and every country. Now, for example, if the country having polycentric approach, definitely each and every market is definitely a different market for them. And in those market, how the human resource may be hired, how the human resource may be trained, what are their, you could say, ethical values, their attitude, their perception, each and everything must be minutely observed. And these things must have to be cope up, must have to be, you could say, managed by the HR manager in the organization. And according to that only, you would be able to manage the heterogeneity in the company in order to provide the uniformity or some integrity in the organization for the long run. Okay, that is the very first and important challenge in front of us, that is called globalization. Second point, we have corporate reorganization. Now, as you know that there are a lot of, you could say, strategic approaches which the company follows when it's come to joint ventures, mergers, exporting activities, FDI, FII investments, takeover. We talk about yes. Okay, so in all such, you could say, strategic approach of the company, we always know that, like for example, how the Jaguar, sorry, how the yes, Jaguar is managed by Tata. Okay, how the, you could say, Suzuki and Maruti is working together. Okay, like how the Tata and Sky is working together. Okay, so when we discuss about basically the mergers and the joint venture, or you could say any strategic alliances between two companies, definitely these strategic alliances are always actually creating some challenges once they merge together. Because as we know that, like even we talk about any project, even we talk about any, you could say, uh, any venture, or you could say any strategic group which we form in any organization, and if these strategic group actually is the result of any merger, any acquisition, any joint venture in the organization, definitely you may face the challenges in order to integrate all the workers working from different part of the world. Okay, so that is again the one of the challenges, because each and every individual having their own you could say upbringing, each and every individual having their own way and life, you could say on way and on you could say the proposition or the attitude how they are managing the organization, because as you know that the work culture in India, work culture in US is very different. Okay, so even if we are clubbing two companies from India and US, definitely it may create certain sort of you could say differences among the or you could say differences among the definitely employees of the organization, and how these differences may be actually managed by the HR manager is again one of the challenging tasks in the case of reorganization. I hope so these 2 points are clear. The globalization and corporate reorganization. Hanji, is this clear, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Now, next one we have new organizational forms. Okay. Now, when we discuss about the new organizational forms, we are talking about the changing the character of competition. Okay. As you know that, like in Indian market specifically, if we are talking right now, the size of the firm may actually vary. The company may escalate, company may be in the growth stage, or company may actually maybe in declining stage in a particular period of time in the you could say market if you're talking right now. The major challenge in front of the HR manager or HR department, we can say, is a changing in the character of the competition. And now you can see that the different companies basically are approaching the customers or their consumer on a different basis. And again, then we come to competition, as we can see that recently in Indian market, how this mergers happened. Actually, we are discussing a reorganization. Okay, like mergers of this Bank of Baroda with Dena Bank and Vijaya Bank. Now, as you know that the Bank of Baroda is basically one of the you could say largest bank in India. If you talk about merging of Dena and Vijaya, which we can say that moreover a regional banks, we can say, because their startups are basically from Vijaya Bank. If you talk about from Karnataka, okay, and Dena Bank again, I don't know exactly the Dena Bank from where it belongs to. Okay, so in such a cases, as you know that how these competitors are basically reorganized first, and after reorganization, the challenges are basically competition from other banks as well in the market. When we come to Punjab National Bank, when it's come to SBI, even these are the basically the challenges which they always actually face in the market. Because when the competitors merge together, when the small company merge with a big company, and definitely in the mergers as well, definitely it is a challenging task that how you are managing your human resources in those organizations after mergers, or after you could say strategic alliances. That is called the new organizational forms. Next part we have changing demographic of workforce. Now, as you know that whenever we're discussing about the any organization, we know that the individual do have, you could say, different proposition. Like for example, if a particular worker working in the company having the age group of 25 to 30 or 40, definitely he or she has a hunger to actually achieve more and more, to improve more and more skills about it. But when talk about an age group person above 50, above 45, definitely they do have a different proposition, different you could say priorities for the next 10 years or the next 20 years or whatever period of time which he or she will serve to the company. In that cases, like when we talk about composition of the gender, like for example, the female and male composition, we talk about the education level, we talk about the skill set of the particular workers. According to that, in order to manage all those heterogeneous workforce, somehow the each and everyone having their own attitude on you could say life improvement or life development path if we talk about, and according to that they might have a different approach in order to work in the organization. So just to manage all those heterogeneity is again one of the important and challenging tasks for the HR manager. I hope so these 2 points are also clear. Yes, students, please kindly confirm.
Sir.
Next one we have.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, thank you so much. Next one we have changed employee expectations. Okay. Now, when we discuss about the expectation of the employee, it is more about you could say the perks, the benefits, the working environment which they are actually wanted to expect from the top management. One more important thing when we discuss about the job securities, okay, when we discuss about their you could say benefit to their family and to their spouse, if we talk about, okay, so employee expectation always changes, and as we can see that nowadays in Indian culture, you can see that the people basically migrating from small cities to you could say metro cities or the you could say urban areas for the job purpose, and as you can see that the particular person belong to the locality may have a different expectation. And as we know that each and every individual having their priority, having their family condition when it comes to financial condition, their family structure, if they talk about their family issues, we talk about their personal life, we talk about each and every individual having their own priorities when it's come to working in the company. Like it's very common, I think, if you talk about any sales individual or any marketing individual, those who are actually continuously having the pressure from the top management or from the sales manager to perform well, and they always ask certain questions to the worker even if you're not able to perform the target or the you could say the benchmark which the company has set. Okay, in such cases what the company do, the companies actually or each individual actually always having certain expectation from them, some having some monetary expectation or you could say monetary benefits, some having some you could say non-monetary benefits, some are actually more focused regarding their job securities, some are more focused regarding their transfers, okay, some are more focused regarding the working environment. Okay, so each and every individual having their own expectation. And according to expectation, you can see that the HR manager having the challenge in front of them to manage the different profile, different you could say the attributes or inputs given by the human resource of the company to the department, and according to that, you need to provide them the motivating factor, which may actually uh, you could say keep them lively in the company to have a hunger to achieve something in the organization. That is about the changed employee expectation. Clear? Next one is the new industrial relationship approach. Okay. Now, when we discuss about the industrial relationship approach, first of all, we are talking about the how the different you could say companies, even though they are competitors, okay, even though they are actually working as you could say working in the same sector, okay, and they might be the cutthroat competitors for each other, but these industries are always actually associated with each other for development of the sector, for development of the economy. Okay, and as we know that the the market in which we are working right now, these markets are always dynamic and connected to the you could say world market or international market, we can say. Okay, now as you know that like if we will talk about the unions, if we talk about you could say trade unions, we talk about you could say there are various organizations those who are working for the betterment of the society, of the industry. They are fighting for their rights with the government if there are certain policy which you could say introduced by the government. Like recently if you can see the banking sector, the banking sector is basically irrespective of the type of banks we're talking right now, they are always closely associated in the solidarity. If we talk about they stands together whenever the government or the RBI or any action which they have taken recently. I think if you remember, the government is actually focusing toward privatization of few of the government bank, like especially Bank of India if we talk about, and one more bank was there actually.
IDBI.
IDBI and one more. Uh, IDBI, I think they have already gone through. I think so. Recently, I think government has passed a resolution. I think in the cabinet meeting, and they have, I think, proposed to sell the stake in the market. IDBI is already done actually, because the case I think which arises in between, if you remember, I don't know, regarding this privatization of Bank of India and one more bank. I think leave it right now. What
Canada Bank.
not Canada. Canada is actually already clubbed with some other banks, I think so. Already clubbed it is. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, might be. Okay, I think Oriental Bank of Commerce. No, it is merged with PNB. Yes, leave it, student. So the major point right now I'm talking about a new industrial relationship. As you can see that even though these particular Bank of India is not associated with other banks, but all the unions and as you can see that in the union we have actually people belongs to different banking structure. Some belongs to BOB, some belong to PNB, some belong to any other bank. Okay, but still they are standing together and they are actually because the union they form and they are opposing all those challenge all those decision making which may be initiated by the government in their cabinet meeting or in their meeting later on. That is called the new IR we are talking right now. And in such a cases, the HR manager must have to be very, very proactive in order to maintain, in order to manage all such, you could say, important parameters when we come to industrial relationship between the, you could say, intra-organization development. Haji,
Okay, sir.
perfect. Shall we move
Uh,
to the
s-
next?
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah, Raksha, please, please.
Yeah, sir, what topics today you have covered?
Nothing. I think we have started with the challenges right now.
Okay, okay, Indian
So
economic.
we have
Okay,
started with globalization and corporate reorganization. Then we are done with this slide. And then we have started with this third slide.
okay, sir.
Okay. Yeah. So move to the next slide now. That is few more challenges we'll discuss now. The next part we have renewed people focus. Okay. Now, when we discuss about the people focus, focus is nothing but basically regarding their development. Okay, as we are talking right now, because as you know that previously, if you know the traditional way of you could say working in the government organization was very very different. Working with you could say these private companies or managing the business in the market was actually we do not have that intense competition. Okay, we do not have that you could say culture, and the customer even do have a limited choices. And as we know that because of the opening up of the you could say international market or globalization, we can say the better term. Okay, the challenge in front of HR manager, because people always do have a people means we are talking about human resource right now. Okay, so they are always concerned about the attitude and the approach and the you could say the locus of control of the you could say the workers working in the company. Okay, it is very very important that like previously you can see that if you are managing a particular organization, each and every will be satisfied with a particular considerable salary. But nowadays, as the changes in the lifestyle, changes in the corporate structure, changes in the promotional policies, changes in the switching pattern from one job to other, a lot of points we can cover up under renewed people focus. The HR manager must have to focus on the workers working existingly in the company. What are their expectations? They need to create an open environment, open system, so that you may hear their voices. Okay, you may actually entertain their grievances. And it is very very important, if you will ignore them, definitely they will not even take a time to ignore you for a second. Okay, they will leave the company because they have a multiple opportunity available. Again, I'm talking about all those individuals, those who are potential, those who have the potential to do something. Definitely these individuals are always very 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 crucial for the company in the long run. Okay, so this is basically the part of your renewed people focus. I mean, the HR manager must have to focus according to the you could say the change in the perspective, change in the locus of control, the very important word in the people's attitude. Next point, managing the managers. Now, when we discuss about this particular point, the managing the managers, it's very important that now you can see that in any organization, we might have certain conflict at the same level in the organization. Okay, like as you know that previously the structure of the company was very simple, it is more very simplified. But now you can see that as the growing demand, as the companies are more focused toward expansion, diversification, approaching towards the internationalization as well, in that cases the decision making is somehow for few companies, or we can say or depends on the companies to company, may be quite confusing. Okay, Some the boss culture is there actually in the company, rather to it should be leadership. Okay, the operational freedoms are somehow lacking in the company when it's, especially when we talk about the companies those who are based on targets. Okay, so when we discuss about the managing the manager, it is very important that how a particular worker working in the company might be at the lower level or junior level, he might be working really really hard, but you need to focus that you need to actually focus on the talent pool of yours. You need to identify that who would be your you could say long runner, or you could say the long you could say what we can say the word uh, I don't know actually. That idioms actually, that idiom is there actually for that particular concept. So you need to identify, for example, there is a new actually manager working in the company, and that manager is working exceptionally well. Okay, sales manager I'm talking right now. Definitely, company must need to identify such talent, and they need to preserve that. Okay, so it is important in this particular case of the managing the managers. It means that you always need to actually focuses on the decision making hierarchy in the company. You need to actually focus more on the leadership rather than to bossism. You need to focus on the giving some freedom, giving some, you could say, a breathing space to your worker, so that they must not feel suffocated under the pressure. They must not feel actually restricted while working, and might not be able to give their 100% in the market. Okay, so important actually challenge in front of the manager, that how to manage these you could say different level of manager in the company, because they might have their personal issues, they might have their ego issues with them, they might have actually issues with their job profile, job position in the organization. So very very important that the HR department having the very, you could say, very tedious task, very challenging task in front of them, in order to manage all these, you could say, different, you could say, aspects and the parameters and the challenges we can say in the organization, to manage your top hierarchy, your, you could say, mere manager hierarchy, we can say, in the organization, so that there should be, you could say, a uniformity, a good communication, you could say, a good balancing when it's come to approaching towards the organizational goals. Hanji, is it clear everyone? Managing the managers and renewed people focus.
Yes, sir.
Hanji.
Okay, sir.
Let's move to the next point then. The last slide for challenges now. Weaker society interest. Okay. Now, weaker society interest we are talking right now. Like, as you know that recently the government has actually given the rights to third gender. If you'll see the forms now, others be already available. Okay, under others, definitely recently, if you can see that the transgenders do have the rights to actually go for the government positions. Even like if I heard, I think recently in somewhere, the first transgender become the principal or director of a particular institute. I don't know exactly the name of that. So I'm just talking about the weaker section of society I'm talking right now, because if you can focus in such a case, definitely how the women workers are giving preferences in the jobs, the minorities people are getting some reservations, some, you could say, some chances to actually work in the top MNCs in India and the world, if we can talk about. Okay, so the important focus of HR manager is not to focus only on the premiums or only on the, you could say, crowd, those who you could say might be actually working in these working at a very good profile, we can say. So important thing for the HR manager, that they always need to fit the right candidate, irrespective of their gender, irrespective of their, you could say, status, irrespective of their financial status, irrespective of their caste system, irrespective of their religion as well. We can say you have to fit the right people at the right place in the organization, and you should not discriminate the people on the basis of any particular ground. That is called the weaker society interest. And the last one is contribution to the success of organization. It's very, very simple. Whatever point we have covered up, definitely the HR manager must need to work in a proactive manner. There should be some persuasive approach that whatever functionality or policy which they are launching, it should be applicable without any discrimination. There should be, you could say, transparency in that. So this is basically the part of your the challenges in front of HR manager, which we have covered. If you have any doubt, any input from your end, please let me know. Else, we'll start with the evolution now.
No, sir.
Perfect, everyone. So now we are.
So,
Yeah, please, Raksha, tell me.
so one query. In the weaker society interest, you gave the example like the transgenders,
Hmm.
like they are also eligible now for the private sectors also. So why, how does it comes in weaker society interest?
No, weaker, not in terms of, actually, I'm talking about the, see, weaker society means basically we can say ignored ones. Okay, someone, those who might not be focused, might be ignored, might be neglected in societies, but somehow now they are getting some privileges in different section, different different organization in India and throughout the world, we can say. That is a concept of weaker. Weaker doesn't mean actually we're talking in the context of minority or financial status. In this case, in the case of transgender, especially the question which you raised.
Okay, so it's clear.
Okay, because these like, see, I don't have any issues. Like, even like, if you won't believe, when the 377, I'm talking about LGBT community. I think yesterday I given the example for the same.
Yes, sir. 377
These
LBG.
people are basically, if they are open to their orientation, okay, definitely people do have some different mindset regarding their sexual orientation, if I'm talking right now. Okay, so these when we come to any particular category of people we are talking right now, somehow, like whether it's LGBTQ, when we talk about even minority people, when we talk about, you could say, transgenders, or any other, like even the women's we talk about as well. Okay, so these are not the weaker, not in terms of particular attribute, but it may actually, like, these sections were previously ignored, neglected by the maybe by the government policies, or maybe because of the corporate or industrial policy we talk about. Because I think yes, Raksha, please.
Yes, sir. Now it's clear.
Clear. I think if you can see that the women empowerment, how even like if you visit to petrol pump, they are getting even the complete petrol pump is based, which is being managed by the females nowadays. Even recently, if you can see one example, that one female she's a truck driver. Okay, how the even recently the Delhi government, how they have promoted the female drivers to actually run to actually take care about the safety and security of the females working in Delhi section. So there's a lot of examples actually. If you will just explore, definitely you will find those examples. Okay, Haji, is it clear?
So this weaker society interest, they are also known as socially disadvantaged people.
Yes, we can say that
Yes,
definitely.
sir. Because I have studied in B.Ed, na. So these people all come under this category.
Yes. Very good point. I think the very good term you used actually, Ms. Poonam.
So it is a technical term for
Yes,
weaker section.
definitely, ma'am. Thank you so much for
What
it.
is the term? Can you please repeat once?
Socially disadvantaged people.
Because even like I'm just adding some points in that, because even like we see in India especially, we have a certain quota system, as well as like the even like recently, if you can see that the Supreme Court has rejected the Maratha reservation, I think, in Maharashtra, which they have claimed actually. So somehow, I don't know, see, basically, like when we are just bifurcating all this system in India, on the basis of, you could say, caste, on the basis of culture, minorities, on the basis of, you could say, gender discrimination, if you're talking right now. These are basically, I don't know whether it is a political agenda, or there should be, you could say, considerable some uniform policies, okay, irrespective of all these factors, in order to take India, or in order to transform India to different part of the world, actually, to actually very different position in the world, if you may say. Because positioning in these terms are very negative in Indian market. Even as of now, we are talking right now. But these things are improving day by day, definitely, but it will take time. Yes, students. Is it clear? I think everyone. Any more doubt? Any more query?
No, sir, clear.
Perfect. So let's move to the next part, which is evolution of HRM. Okay. Now, when we discuss about the evolution of HRM, basically how the human resource development or how the HR policies has transformed from the very traditional to a particular level. We are talking about the HRD nowadays, human resource development. Okay, I'll just show you, because this topic is theoretical topic right now. So you can see this particular graph. Okay, you can see that the era of that 80s or 19th centuries, when we discuss about this particular welfare officer, it moved to the labor manager, moved to personal management, then HR management, and now even we are talking about much more regarding human as a capital. We are talking right now, human resource as a business partner. People are considering as an asset for the company. Okay, so as we can see, this particular very beautiful, you could say, diagram is given over here, that how the companies are basically focusing on such concept nowadays in the 21st century. We are talking right now. Okay, so we'll discuss in detail actually. If yeah, I think I should move to the next slide. Yes, students, shall we move? I think.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Yes, sir. You can see that this is an era or the changes which we are talking right now in terms of human resource development. Okay, you can see that the stages and decades. In 19th century, you can say we are in 1900. We are talking right now. Employee welfare and welfare officer is always there. In the case of 1920, 1930, we have personal administrator and how the things would be managed. Okay, these are the transition we are talking right now. How the things have actually transformed from that traditional purview of this welfare scheme, labor management, personal management, to this particular, even from HRM now, we are moving towards more about the strategic HRM. Okay, how the, you could say, the transformation may take place in the market when we are talking about all these important concepts. Anji, is it clear, everyone? So I think I will just give you very basic example right now over here. Okay, this is the evolution of HR. I'll just show you. It's very, very simple topic. I think is visible now. What was the past and what exactly the present right now when it's come to human resource approaches or HR manager approaches. Okay, the first point, as you can see, that remove legalese is a human and thinks live marketing. Okay, removing legalize being human and things like marketing, because now the human are considered as an asset in the company. Okay, previously it was hired and fired, but now it is enable, empower, train, develop, and giving them great experience in the organization. I think, student, are you getting my point? What exactly we're talking right now? The evolution of HR, human resource. Haji, first 2 points, I think. Is it clear, everyone? What exactly we are discussing, the transition from the past to future? Student, I think please kindly confirm. Is it clear now, everyone? What we are discussing right now?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes, sir.
Sir,
Previously, it was like a dictatorship, but now things are coaches, mentor, counselor, leader, those who are giving this participation. Okay. Now, when we discuss about the fourth part, that is about the maintained status. Okay, now this is all about the destroying status quo. What is status quo? We're talking about the egoistic approach. If you talk about the era where you could say the government organization, and if you are the manager of the company, you have a very different ego and status issues with you. Okay, the particular manager thinks that he is like the king on this world. Okay, now these particular things has transformed, and now Now you can see that how the rigid or traditional culture shifted to dynamic, or you could say more open system in the organization. Okay, not technological advance, definitely. It is relieves heavily on the technology such as big data analytics, and how the analytics part is basically playing a crucial moment in the company to transform the system, to transform the, you could say, the efficiency, to improve their effectiveness, to actually improve their value chain system in the long run. Okay. The next one we have, don't define, did not define and lead strategy. Now, basically what actually happened, previously the system was very rigid. So you may not have the option to actually speak to your boss directly. But now the system is very open. If you want to, you could say speak up, if you want to raise your voice, the things are very, very different. Okay. No seat at the table, key seat at the table. No seat means we are talking right now, because as you can see that how casually we can say the people were working previously, but now because of the system and because of technology as well, how we can actually keep a tight, you could say a watch over each and every individual working in the organization. Next one we have payroll, compensation, benefit. It is based on the employee experience, and all these benefits may be altered, you could say maybe customized, depends on the profile of the individual. And now as you can see that even like when you see a lot of advertisement in the it is always that deserving candidate may have some appreciation or whatever it is mentioned on the last. So now the privileges, the weightage is given to all such individuals, those who are actually having very good experience, the knowledge, skill set, okay, the say we can say the approach, the attitude, each and everything matters nowadays, personality type. Okay, these factors are basically now being considered by the HR manager or HR department in the organization to work in the you could say in the prosperity, in the development of the human resource. Clear, I think, everyone? Next one we have cost center, but now we have profit enabling center. Previously it was only about the cost to the company, the people are not concerned about the profit making approach, but now the things are more approaches towards the vision and mission, how the one can achieve. The company is always concerned about I just need business, nothing else. That is the attitude which was actually transformed from the cost center to profit enabling center. Okay, clearly defined workforce, dynamic and changing workforce. And as you can see that nowadays you need actually personnel, those who are deserving, those who fit to that particular job. And because of changing environment in the world market, you have previously, because you have very limited, very rigid, you could say workforce in the organization. But now you need more and more experience, more and more knowledge, more and more, you could say upgradation in the employee or in the work, in the, you could say human resource of the organization. Okay. The next one is the focused on the employee input, focus on the employee output, because people are nowadays, or organization nowadays is concerned only about the business, and business, nothing else. If you're working even 2 hours in a day, they're only concerned about the business. If you're working 1 hour in a day and giving the business, it's okay for them. They are not actually now concerned about that 9 hours job, 10 hours job. They are more concerned about even if you're working 5 hours in a day, definitely if you're giving the business desired by the companies, definitely that is enough for the organization. Clear, I think, everyone? Next one we have, treat employees like resources. Okay, and here the treat employees like water and air, can't live without them. Okay, previously if the worker is not working, they will actually give some memo, they will give that pink letter to them. Actually previously that pink letter is called basically the warnings given to them. Okay, but now the things are actually more lively, because human resource is one of the most important assets. They are considered as the gems of the company. Without them the company may not survive. Okay, previously it was performance appraisal, but now it is about the real-time recognition and feedback with employee check-ins. The real-time feedback, the real-time appraisal, okay, because of technology upgradation, you may get into. Okay, like I think you might aware about that weekly report, weekly meetings, okay, fortnight meetings we have in the company just to update the employees regarding their appraisal, regarding their work performance in the previous period of time. Filling gaps in jobs, definitely, but now unlock the human potential, because ultimately it is not about the job and the number of people working in the company. It is more about basically, even if we have limited resources, but if those limited resources are working, like for example, 5 are working equal to 7, so previous definitely 5 would be good for me. So, okay, so major you could say focus on the quality, not on the quantity nowadays. Okay, one size fits all model, definitely, but one size break all approach across the nation. One size breaks all means an individual can create a difference in the company. An individual may create the benchmark in the company. An individual may create that standard in the company, and which maybe you could say inspiration, which may be actually the what we can say the attraction of the company for the long run, to motivate, to inspire other for the long run. Okay. Next one we have salad from the lines of business, and here we have worked closely to understand the business needs. Previously, it was all about like we are only indulged in what exactly the things are going on around us. Okay, but now the things are very different. We are working actually closely to understand the dynamic need, or you could say the need of the hour right now. What exactly the company need in the next 2 years, the next 5 years. Previously, the focus was very different. Focus was very rigid. It was extremely static. We talk about when this particular point we're talking right now. Okay. The next one we have multi-year project design and rollout. And here it is fast design, implementation, and iteration. Iteration means repetition of the project, which might give benefit to the company. Okay. The last one, human resource job title. But now here the title is not there. We have the people, we have the talent, we have the experience, and on those grounds as well, you always assess, you always analyze, you always identify the human resource of a organization. Clear, I think, everyone? The transition we are talking right now. One more slide on the same topic which I have. Shall we move, I think, to the next one?
Yes, sir.
The one more actually about the evolution of employment, how the employees have evolved. Okay, the open system, the flexible system of working to the employees. You can say the past, it is work 9 to 5, but it is work anytime from any place. Like even like we are working, being a faculty, and from, let's say from my house. Okay, definitely it is like according to my fit, according to my availability. Definitely I can work anytime, whenever, wherever, or when we discuss about this particular component, IT sector as well, they can work from anywhere in the world. Okay, so anytime, anywhere, the first 2 points. Use company equipment, but use any device, like how we are doing right now. Focus on input, focus on output, we discussed already. Climb the corporate ladder, but create your own ladder, create your own standard, create your own benchmarking. Is very, very important part. Create your own name in the market, very, very important. Predefined work, customized work, because company is giving you open hand to work as per your caliber, your temperament, and your focus. Hoards information? No, they share information. Sharing is caring. More you share, the better would be the harmony, and the you could say the association integrity among the employees. No voice can become a leader, because you maybe you could say upgrade yourself in an organization from a lower level employee to the top management. Previously the things were very different, things structure was very rigid. Okay, but now the things are very different, that you may become a leader in the organization very, very soon, and people may hear you, you may get promoted as well. Okay, relies on email, relies on collaboration technology. I mean, how we are using ERP, how we are using different software, how we are using different analytics as well. We're talking HR analytics, we're talking right now, how these systems are basically helping the company in the long run. Okay, the focus was on knowledge, focus on was learning. Actually, learning means new certification, new skill development, which we need to focus on. Okay, the next one we have corporate learning and teaching, but now it is more about the democratized learning and teaching. Means everything should be taught, everything should be provided equally to all the workers working in the company. So this is a basic two actually slide which I have just discussed over here about the evolution of the uh, employee working in the system. Haji. I think so. These two slides are clear. We are discussing about the transitions nowadays from this stage to this current stage. How exactly things has changed. How the things has transformed. Hanji, is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I think now we are going for a short break. Okay. And we'll get back to you at 7 o'clock. Fine. Yes, friends.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much. So we'll get back to you at 7 sharp now. Shall we start, I think? Yes, student, everyone is back. 30, yeah, 30 we had, I think, in the first half. Hanji, student, shall we start, I think?
Yes, please, sir.
Hanji, sure. Now, as I told you that we are discussing about the evolution of HRM, and as we know that period to period, decade to decade, how the functionality, technicality, complexity, and the approaches of HR management or HR department has changed. Okay. Now, in this case, we are talking about not only for HR management, but it is basically the complete transformation in the structure of the company if you're talking right now. Okay, when it's come to approach of top management, when we discuss about the basic characteristics of the company's ethical values, their legal, you could say, aspects. If we talk about each and everything has drastically changed from, you could say, a century if we talk about, or from decade to decade if you can say. Okay, now I think this is all a theory. The would say Yeah, this is the part which I want to show you actually. This is a basically different era we are talking about now. Okay, there is the industrial revolution area, 19th century, trade union movement era, close to 19th century, social responsibility era, beginning of the 20th century. Most important part, please focus on this. Scientific management era, 1900 1920, human relationship era, 30 to 50, 50 to 60, behavioral science, 60 onwards, system and contingency approach, and human resource management, 1980s. Recently, if you talk about from 2000 onwards, we have strategic HRM as well. Okay, how the strategic HRM is basically working toward more dynamic, you could say, in a more dynamic fashion in the market. Okay, now all these 8 points we will discuss one by one. Make sure these 8 points are more theoretical actually. There is nothing technicality which we're going to discuss right now. Okay, so you just may have a reading of the slides actually, because almost like the first point we're talking right now, that is, you could say, industrial revolution era. Okay, how the industry has started, how the industry developed in the European and the US market we are talking right now, how these industries has actually created the global impact, how they have actually changed the approach of processes, how they have actually changed the approach of centralization, decentralization approach. Okay, so this is the first case we are talking right now, that is industrial revolution era. Okay, the emergence of industries in this particular world, that is from 1850s we are talking right now. Please have a look, student. I think it's very theoretical and very descriptive part we're talking right now, nothing technical at all. Please have a look. If you have any query, do let me know, please, because that topic I have to wind up today, that is evolution. Because in this subject there are certain topics, not certain topic, I think this particular topic is basically more historical actually, we can say. Hanji, I hope so. It's very simple, student. I've already explained this. The concept of factory, the concept of manufacturing, the concept of processes, the concept of operation management. Okay, each and everything has actually drastically uh, influenced the global market. Again, the major factor it is mentioned already over here regarding mechanized working, migration of workers. Okay, the contact between the owners and the workers. It's very, very simple actually. More about, you could say, the traditional system or traditional, you could say, aspect of a particular industry. Haji, I think it's clear and simple as well, everyone.
Sir, what is master-servant relationship means?
See, it is basically more about the bossism actually. Okay,
The master means boss.
yeah, because philosophy, traditional philosophy is simple, nothing but if I am the boss, you cannot actually give any input from your side. It would be actually insult for the, you could say that the manager working or standing in the system, because as you know that it is a matter of superiority in the company, and if you are superior to others, definitely you will not take any advice from him or her. Okay, and still this exists actually in so many firms, in so many government firms, in private firms as well.
So it is still existing and maybe in future also in existing manner.
Yeah, but still, like when we discuss about the MNCs, we discuss about, you could say, the global organization, those who are actually having more geocentric approach. If we talk about these companies, are actually now coming up with the open system. Okay.
Yes, yes. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, yeah, please, welcome always. Shall we? Second flight. The second point, that is about the trade union movement era, the power of unions. The example I think I told you. In case of any, you could say, if they have to fight for their rights, actually the trade unions were formed. And these trade unions basically are working in the interest of the workers. Okay. Like issues related to the long hour work, child labor, poor working condition, the issue related to, you could say, salary structure, their benefits. Because of that, the trade union started, and you can see the strike, slowdown, walkout, boycott are the major activity which they perform to challenge the top management. And it happens nowadays as well. Okay, it's very common. Recently, like I think if you remember during the COVID as well, the doctors I think have raised certain issues, and they have actually given the ultimatum to the government to not working for a particular few hours in a particular day. I think they recently in the last lockdown it was happened. Even the banking, it's very common actually how they actually go for strikes. They go for you could say closing of the bank for particular days. So the operation is completely down in the organizations. Hanji, is it clear everyone? Trade union movement era.
Yes, sir.
And third phase now, social responsibility era, which is a 20th century concept. And as we know that social responsibility concept, it is more about basically providing the good working condition, no discrimination when it's come to gender. Child labor should be the criminal offense. There should not be any, you could say, uh, what we can say, the influence of, you could say, any management in the company when it's come to working in the company in an open system or open environment. Okay, so when we discuss about the social responsibility era, it is more about what you could say, whenever the company is basically setting up themselves in the market, how they are providing, or up to what extent, in how many numbers they are providing job opportunities, the working condition, the welfare schemes, the, we can say, their remuneration, if we talk about, means their perks and benefits, about what else we can consider when it's come to social.
Diversity.
Yeah, diversity, definitely, that we example we discussed actually. Okay, so there should not be any, you could say, discriminated policies or discriminated approach of management towards serving the society in the long run. Okay, in a simple language, if you can understand. Okay, I think it's very, very simple as well. Yes, students, please kindly confirm. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay,
Next,
sir.
yeah. Next one, we have scientific management, which is actually the concept of tailors. Okay, So Taylor's principle, actually the one best way of doing things is based on time and motion study. Okay, I think in the next subject we will discuss in detail about this particular concept, time and motion study. Okay. Okay, now on the basis of this experimentation which is being performed by the Taylor, and given the concept of time and you could say motion study, they are actually working on the or focusing on the you could say improving the productivity and the effectiveness of the workers working in the company. Okay, so what he has given this particular four principle in this case, replacing rule of thumb with science. Okay, there should be some dynamic approach whenever we are resolving any issue in the organization. It should not be based on the traditional mechanism or traditional system to work like in a system where there is no dynamism, where you could say where there is no, you could say you could say inculcate of the culture which you must need to adopt in order to actually you could say change the system, the culture, the environment of the organization. Harmony, not conflict. Definitely, there should be resolution of each and every problem the company is facing. The conflict must be resolved as early as possible so that it would not turn into turnover of the employee from the organization. And it should be constructive, constructive. You could say in a constructive manner, it should be resolved, and there should be, you could say, satisfaction to the parties, those who are the conflicting, having some conflicting views about any issues in the organization. Cooperation, not individualism. You need to think company as a one unit, not an individual. You have, definitely you must have to focus on your personal growth, but it does not mean that the company's growth or company's mission or company's objective may suffer. Development of each and every person. That is a basic concept which was given by under the time and motion study. We'll discuss in detail, I think, in the principle and practice of management in the next subject. Okay, so it is scientific management approach. Hanji, is it clear, everyone? Because these were the major outcome of scientific management approach, that is functional foremanship. Functional foremanship means each and every individual must have the authority to approach, to work, to open up regarding new innovation, regarding new concept, regarding, you could say, giving their inputs in terms of development of the company. Standardization and simplification of work is very simple. And differential piece wage system means according to the effectiveness, according to the productivity, the worker must be paid. It should not be any uniformity that even the worker is working like, for example, 100 output, 100 units of output it is given, another is given only 50 units of output, but having same salary structure. So there should be some differential piece wage rate system. These are the basic output we have, but it is actually a very detailed topic we have in the case of Fayol's principle under scientific management era, which we'll discuss later on, actually, definitely in the next subject. Haji, scientific management approach. Is it clear, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
It's very simple topic. Next one, we have human relationship approach. Okay, human relationship means how the harmony, the integrity, the cohesiveness we have in the organization when it's come to managing human resource. In such a case, we always need to focus on these factors. The first one, social factor at workplace. Okay, group formation, group influence, nature of leadership and supervision, and communication. As you can see that these are the major four factors which comes under human relationship. Social factor means like whenever you're working in a system, you might have your formal friends, informal friends, and these friends or these, you could say, colleagues with whom you are working may be the motivating factor or maybe demotivating factor for you while working in the company. Okay, like you, as you know that like whenever we are working in a system in an hierarchy, we have actually whether it's our boss may become your very good friend, may become your very good colleague, formal colleague or informal colleague, depends on the terms and the exchange which you have with each other. Okay, group formation, group influence, we're talking about group formation, maybe formal, informal, and according to the group formation, actually how the group is basically dominating in the company. Okay, is it dominating? Is it helping? Is it more democratic? It depends on type of group and their characteristics. Okay, Nature of leadership and supervision depends on top management. What type of leadership which the company is opting for, what type of leaders are managing the troops in the company, and how the supervision is basically managed and tackled by the organization. Shweta, yes.
No, I'm not to say anything.
Okay, okay. I thought you unmuted yourself. Okay, no issues. And the last one is communication. Communication, as I told you already, that because of the, you could say, the approach of, you could say, open system in the organization, there should be, you could say, open path, or you could say a direct path, in order to actually resolve the grievances of the of the particular workers working in the company. So communication should be open. It should be, you could say, more, we can say, more flexible in the organization when it comes to, if the redressal is not there, if the grievance, if the problems hasn't resolved, definitely you may approach to the other, you could say, authorities to do so. And that is called human relationship era. Very simple, I think so, students. I will just share one document with you today, okay, which includes in detail about this evolution. Okay, so after this class, definitely you may go through with that, okay, and you will find all these topics from that document only. Okay, I'll try to share it today itself. Anji, shall we move to the next part?
Okay, sir.
Yes.
Next one, we have behavioral science. And I think if you remember in the last section, I told you about the behavioral science is more about the psychology, more about understanding the requirement of a particular individual, more about basically understanding how we can actually make keep themselves motivated, understanding their desires, understanding their expectations. These all will come under behavioral science, and it is a very challenging, I could say, approach of HR manager to understand the behavioral aspect, okay, or subjective aspect, we can say, of an individual in an organization, and to maintain them, to understand them, to resolve them. It's one of the, you could say, a very, you could say, tough task, very tedious task in front of the HR manager. Clear, I think, everyone? In a certain, you could say, output of how the manager actually work. I think it's not important to discuss right now. Let's move to the next topic. I think system and contingency approach era. Now, when we discuss about this system and contingency approach era, it is more about the situational analysis or work as per the dynamic environment or as per the market environment. Okay. Now, when we discuss about this system and contingency approach, which you're talking right now, when we discuss about a system means basically the rules, regulation, the guidelines, or you could say the you could say the culture which we imbibe in the organization. And because the system actually, the contingency is all about basically situational based analysis. Contingency is all about basically situational based analysis. Okay, so when we discuss about a particular system having their own culture, having their, you could say, on reflection, having their own attributes, and how this basically system are basically uh, reacting on certain contingency which appears in the organization. Okay, that contingency may be any problem of economy, internal problem of the company, any issues from international market, any issues from the customers, whatever it could be. This is basically more about a particular system and how the system are responding towards those contingency. That is called system contingency approach. Anji, is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Perfect. And last but not the least, actually, it is all about HRM era, and I will say, I think it is more strategic HRM era. Strategic, as I think I will discuss in the last class itself, that how actually the company need to be proactive. They need to plan their future avenues in the advance, so that in case if in the future if something is needed in the company, they have to be actually open up with the case of, you could say, human resource. And as I told you, human resource are basically jam. Okay, they are the jams in the particular organization, and if they lose, definitely, I think we have given the example of Ratan Tata in the last class. Okay, we have discussed the example of Infosys as well. Okay, how this you could say influence of these people have actually you could say, develop the companies, okay, or transform the companies ultimately at the new heights in the market. Okay, that is called the HRM era we are talking right now, and you need to preserve them. It's very, very important. That is called the HRM era, and I always say it is called strategic HRM era. Student, clear? I think everyone. This is evaluation part is very, very simple and it's more theoretical actually. And now
Yes, sir.
now we have completed first two topics of a syllabus. Okay, that is evaluation and the introduction part. Any query to anyone till this slide? I think because I have to start HR planning. I have different slides now, but I'll start it from tomorrow only. The new topic.
No, sir.
No. Okay. Okay. Perfect.
So there's something like a personal specialist and welfare era. What does that?
Where it is?
No, it's not in that. Like I have gone through some books. Like in that also they mentioned the personal specialist and the welfare era.
Okay. Personal specialist and welfare era.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, definitely. Because initially when I was just showing the slide, it was there actually. You can see that.
Yeah.
Okay. This welfare officer, welfare era, personal ed. Because see, actually, Mr. Uday, it is more about basically historical perspective of HRM. Okay, so that's why I have just mentioned only the topics which I think important to discuss in this evolution. Okay, and I'm just more concerned towards the recent changes. I think so, as like rather to discuss about the history. Okay, and Mr. Uday, I think I'll share one document today with everyone, and in which it includes everything regarding this transition as well.
Okay.
Okay, because see, you can understand by keeping in consideration the time limit, the interest of the students in the classes. Because if I'll start history, definitely people may not attend my class from tomorrow. Okay, that's the reason I have just keep it very short and simple.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay? Because I just
Yeah.
want to have the class more, you could say, interactive. There should be, you could say, a discussion in the classes, and that is only possible when we'll discuss about the dynamic concept or topic which are actually based on some interactions.
Okay.
Because historical part, definitely each and everyone can read it after the classes or whenever they have a time to spare time to go for. Okay, I think students. So yeah, before going further, actually, yeah, Mr. Anuj, I think you want to say something.
No, sir. No, sir.
Okay, okay. So I think yesterday I have given you one task, okay, just to prepare your role play for that. I think most of you have completed that or not. And I think I have received only one response as of now. I think I can understand you might be busy with your work. Yes, Ms. Santosh, please tell me.
Sir, this is going for discussion.
This was sorry. Yeah, please, Mr. Anuj.
This is for this task you are giving for the discussion or the reply.
I think I have given it for your input before the class. I think so. I'm not sure about.
No, even I understood like it is for the discussion, sir. That's the reason I didn't
This is discussion, sir.
responded for.
Because that's why not working on that.
Okay. No worries. Let me open that.
Confusion. I think so. So some confusion is there.
No. Sorry from my side. I think might be it's my mistake.
No, sir. Because of that, I think this is the discussion part next day class.
No worries, Mr. Anuj. No worries. I'm just opening that document.
Okay, sir.
Just a minute. So I think that was a role play document which I shared. I think. Yeah. Let me share my screen now. Sheetal Rathore, please kindly mute yourself. Yes. So I think this was the very simple role play, I think, which I have given in the last session. And I have received only one response, I think, from, I don't know from whom I have received, but I received only one response. Anji, I have received from Mandar, I think, yes. Only one student. Okay, no worries, I think
So
so.
we were to write in the WhatsApp.
No, I think it was, I think it was confusing for me as well, because I thought you people might submit it, but students are telling that it is for the discussion for today's class. Okay. Okay, there might be some confusion, I think, to me. No, it's
Yes, sir. You already yesterday that it was discussed on second session.
okay. I'm really sorry for that. Okay. So I think, yes, let's move forward the discussion, I think, for role play. Okay. I think, have you read this case first of all or not?
Yes, sir. I did it.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Role of the manager,
Yes,
role
sir.
of the candidate.
We read it.
Yeah. So Mr. Anuj, shall we start, I think, with you?
Because of the role of the manager is different in the company and other than the employees, because manager is controlling all the things of the plant and organization also. And as per the brief of the graduate, is the candidate only the look forward the limited circle.
Okay.
This is the main difference of both of them, role of play.
But I think, Mr. Anuj, we have to actually just give your inputs in the praise and develop approach. I think you might have to focus on this term.
Which one? Which one? Pardon, sir?
You see that? Do this role play writing the dialogue both for the manager and the graduate. The focal theme is praise and develop.
Yes, sir. Because manager is also looking for the development and all the plant side, sir. But the candidate or the graduate is only the limited area. But manager is the in the larger area is covered. This is the difference of the role.
Okay.
My thinking is this, sir. Because manager role play is different than the graduate is the others.
Understood, Mr. Anuj.
That's why I am saying, sir. This is the thinking of the view.
Understood. Yes, Mr. Anuj. Thank you so much. Yes.
Because yes, sir. Okay.
Anji. Anyone else? I think, please.
I think in this it's in the writing the dialogues for manager and graduate. As the graduate went to the manager after doing his work efficiently. So what we expect from manager that he should praise the person and further like he has faced problem in next step. So further training and that like a manager should say that is good work, you have done a good job. And for further, we will provide you more training and development so that you can handle the different situation more effectively. And the employee or the graduate should welcome if the manager is so positively. And he should really take the training and which would help him to grow in future. That's what I have thought about this.
Yes, completely fine. Because I just want to add one more point in your comment actually. Because when we discuss about the praise and develop approach, we are actually, I think, Mr. Rahul, please, just a minute. We are actually just focusing more upon, even though a particular employee who might have the potential to work in the company, okay, but he may not be able to perform because of the new juncture, because of the new environment, or because of the, you could say, sometime that ice breaking period, which must have to be, you could say, tackled by the leaders or by the manager in the company. And this basically period is one of the most challenging period for the manager as well and for the graduates as well in the company. Okay, so even though if he's not performing up to the standard, not performing up to the mark, you need to praise them and you have done the fantastic job just to get them some motivation for that particular period, because you understand the picture which you might see for next 10 to 20 years from now.
Yes, sir.
Okay, that is
so
about.
That's what at this situation managers have more more challenges also, and more they have to concentrate, like because sometimes a person do 10 jobs, there might be 1 2 he's not or he or she is not doing so efficiently. So the managers should sometimes ignore or make the focus that okay, the person weaker point is this, and we should polish the person on that. But many times it doesn't happen practically, but that's what the person expects.
Okay. Yes, yes. Very good. I think Shweta. Yes, Rahul. I think you want to say something now.
No, sir, no. Okay.
Yeah, sorry.
Sir, I want to add something in this.
Yeah, please, Santosh. Please.
See, definitely it should be appreciated and congratulated as an individual because as a graduate and at a new, he has done a fantastic job and he should be definitely appreciated and for his hard work and dedication also. But as well as like I feel like he should also be advised where his loop points, like because it cannot be like 100% perfection in the initial level. Yes, he should be motivated for his work and also should be said him that like he should work with the team. Like there are a lot of people who are also with him as a team. So maybe like experienced brainies also. So those input should also be given to him. So that he should work in future as a team also along with his credibility.
Yes, definitely. I think the point you have covered about the gray areas, which you must need to actually reflect, must need to actually show them where exactly you are lacking, might be, and how you can improve on that. I think very good point, Santosh. Yes, very good point.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Handing, any other input regarding this role play? I think we have already discussed so many points. I think any other input, something new which we can include in this? Because tomorrow I'll start the HRP now. It is human resource planning.
Can I say something, sir?
Yeah, please, sir. Please continue.
Basically, manager creating the eco-friendly atmosphere in the company regarding the motivation, regarding the appreciation. Also, with the help of the HRD. This is the basic phenomena for the HRM or HRD, and including with the technical side also. Eco-friendly means appreciation for the employees, new employees or old employees.
Okay. Yes.
Eco-friendly means eco-friendly environment. That means they will work comfortable with the relaxed mood. Because of that, output is come more, and also that people is nicely work. And even though discuss with the manager, with the employees, not a company itself, personal issues also. If some they will give.
Okay. Yes.
And relax the mind. Every time relax the mind on the organization is the most important thing. Relax mind, 100% think more on positive side.
Okay. Perfect, sir. Perfect.
This is the main phenomena, sir, for the HRD, HRM or the technical side of the managers and others.
Understood, sir. Yes.
This is the thing. Okay, sir.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Mr. Anuj. Thank you so much.
Okay.
So I think, student, that's enough for the day. I think. Yes, students. Because we are done with first two topics now, that is introduction and the evolution. Tomorrow I'll start with HRP, and then I think actually I'm planning one more thing from you people. I just need one session from everyone where we will interact regarding our own personal experience regarding there are so many people working class actually belong to this class. So I just want to create one class activity. I think you just tell me when is the suitable, I think, day which we can plan. I think Friday I'm thinking to do, if it is so, because I need maximum participation. Okay, we will discuss actually more about on a practical ground how the things are, because I just want to have a session which is based on resource sharing, which is based on knowledge sharing on a particular day. Okay, so definitely we'll plan, and we'll actually do it as early as possible. So that, because the subject demands such class activities. Clear?
This is good, sir. This is good.
Yeah, that's really great.
I just want actually that everyone should cooperate, support that class actually, because otherwise things would be very difficult. Because I just want everyone should switch on their videos as well on that day, so things would be more interactive. I think so. Okay.
Okay,
It's
sir.
night. It's night discussion for the video calling with the discussion is going on for the GT.
Yeah, definitely. Even I'll also share my video. Don't worry with that. Okay.
Which day, sir?
Yeah, Shabana, please.
On which day?
I think
Friday.
Friday is pretty far better. I think so. Okay, I think we'll discuss tomorrow. Okay, I'll just give the message to everyone regarding those activity and what exactly we're going to do.
Okay, sir.
We will go further. Fine.
Okay, sure. We all are participating.
Sir, can you share slide number 35 again?
35 you want?
Yes, sir.
I think I closed the slides. I think so. 1 minute, please. Just 1 minute. Please. And I'm sharing this one more file with you. I think by night. Okay, just give me some time actually. No, sorry.
Yes, sir.
Because I have a classes actually since morning 8 o'clock, so it's very tiring. I think for me to teach till 8 o'clock. Yeah, 35.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, sure. Because I think we have a classes since morning 8 o'clock for the MBA and BBA students. So that start from the morning and then continuous the things will go on. So just to preserve the energy for you people in the night, in the evening around 6 to 8, it is a challenging task for a faculty.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Now the end is the tired.
Yeah, definitely.
Sir, you are faculty. Sorry.
Yeah, please, Rahul.
Sir, you are faculty for the IIBM Institute
actually,
only, or some other
lecturer. Okay, so I have till now I have said around 16, 17 institutions in India and US as well. So I'm just
very good
online trainings, like I've served in Mumbai, a lot of colleges, in Indore. Basically, I belong to Indore. So as of now, it's around 16, 17 colleges I've served. And I had a great experience with these executive sort of batches where we have the experienced guys, those who are interacting with the fact. Because I'm not too old actually. But with Mr. Anuj, actually, I'm learning a lot. With Poonam, I think she is very interactive.
That's great, sir.
Yes.
Very good.
So, anytime, if you need any help from my side, up to what extent I can help anyone, I think so. Definitely, I'm always there.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, please. Thank you so much, everyone. So,
okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Good night.
Thank you, sir. Have a good day.
Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.
Sir, bye.
Bye.